It's the most beautiful time of the year. I know this is not the introduction you were looking forward to. Don't mind my voice. I'll probably need voice training. Hello, welcome to United and Everything Football. This is your beautiful podcast. We thank you so much. We hope you're enjoying your holidays. We hope you are having fun with your family and friends. Please, if you've not had any place to go, find a place to go and enjoy the holidays. It's the most beautiful time of the year. Anytime it comes to Christmas, it comes to December, we're all looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being with us, for your subscription, for your likes, for your sharing, for being with us. It's been 6 months since we started this beautiful podcast, and you've always been with us. You've always hit the subscribe button. But I want to remind you, if you're watching it for the first time, or you've been watching and you've not subscribed, please, as a Christmas gift, hit the subscribe button for us. Kwame, how are you doing? How are you enjoying your holidays?
It's been the best Christmas ever. I've had a lot of fun. It's been great. It's been fantastic. Couldn't have asked for any better.
For us as United fans, on Saturday we lost against West Ham United. Some way, somehow, we gave you a proper box office on Tuesday against Aston Villa, coming down from 2 goals to beat Aston Villa by 3 goals to 2. I mean, that's what you'd expect from Manchester United every single time. It's something we do. I mean, the statistics shows that we are the team that has come from 2 goals down the most to win games. It's us. Definitely, we'll give you that. We hope you enjoyed your time with us. We're going for a very quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll delve into these issues and many more. We're doing a season review, or where we've gotten to, we're doing a review from August till now. We're looking at Ten Hag, we'll be looking at our games and everything. We'll be right back after this break. Stick and stay with us. And thank you so much for joining us and choosing us. We are bringing you nothing but the best here on United and Everything Football. So on Saturday, we came up against West Ham United, lost that game by 2 goals to 0. In between that, the Sir Jim Ratcliffe deal was announced. And then on Tuesday, we played against Aston Villa, where we won that game by 3 goals to 2, a game we were losing. And I mean, we found a way to, win that game by 3 goals to 2. Proper box office from United. I mean, how are you feeling? It's been an emotional roller coaster for every United fan, I guess.
Those 2 games actually sum up what our season has been so far. We are losing one time pitifully, and then the next time we are joyously actually winning a game in such dramatic fashion. We've been inconsistent all throughout the season, and those 2 games completely encapsulate our form. It's been crazy.
What really happened on Saturday? Because I felt it was a game we shouldn't have lost. Honest.
Yeah. For most parts of that game, I think we're in control until Erik ten Hag had a brain fart moment with those substitutions. He cost us the game, in my opinion. And some way, somehow, we were able to make up for it against even stiffer opposition in a far more important game against Villa.
What did we do against Villa in that game? I mean, I was watching the game. We went down by 2 goals to 0. Now, I remember telling you guys in our WhatsApp group that we are going to win this game, given how the event had played out. I mean, right after we conceded 2 goals, I told you guys, I need some aggression from this team. In the next 5 minutes, we were all over Aston Villa. I was very much surprised that we couldn't even get a goal in that first half. I felt very much surprised because we had created enough opportunities. Everything was spot on that day. We were pressing, we were aggressive. You could see that we were fighting. We wanted it more. And one of the best games I've seen Marcus Rashford played. I mean, looking at the form that he's been in, you could see that there's a player trying his best to get back in form, made correct decisions. Marcus Rashford of old would probably go forward and then try and give you a
Drop
certain
back in.
cut back, and then try to use the right to hit it. But this time around, he was trying to feed his fellow forwards with the ball and all of that. Eriksen, not one of the most physically aggressive players. You could see him show aggression on the day. And what would we say about Rasmus Højlund? Found a way to register
Finally.
his first goal of the season. Finally, Rasmus Højlund got the goal. And that's exactly what happened in the game. But generally, what do you make of the intensity or the way and manner we played that game against Aston Villa?
We wanted it more. We wanted it more. And that's the kind of desire we haven't shown for a lot of our games throughout the season. Sometimes it's not just about having the best players on the pitch. It's about having the intent to be able to, the passion, the desire to put in the work, to want it more than the opponent. That's where the talent counts. If you're able to match your opponent in terms of intensity, passion, and talent. But I think what made the biggest difference was Erik ten Hag made some crucial decisions before the game and during the game. He dropped Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay was finally dropped.
That was a good Christmas
that
present. That was a very good Christmas present.
And everyone was just relieved with the starting lineup, not seeing him in that, because playing him next to Højlund instead of Bruno has been one of the biggest mistakes Erik ten Hag has made so far. But he rectified that. He put Bruno right behind the centre forward. Bruno was at his creative best. And most importantly, our wide forwards were putting balls into the box. Højlund got his goal off from a cross into the box. Garnacho got a couple of goals, one ruled out from crosses into the box. Bruno Fernandes put a cross into the box and it fell at the feet of Garnacho for the equalizer. Feed your centre forward. Højlund had one shot and scored from that goal, 100% efficiency. But Manchester United, a centre forward, should be getting more opportunities than just one shot on goal. We have done him a great disservice so far with the coach's decision and with certain players' decisions on the football pitch. It's about time we started playing for our centre forward.
All right. It's very important. Højlund has showed a glimpse of what we should expect from him, playing at the highest level, like in the Champions League, where I think as it stands now, we are out, but he's the top scorer in that competition with 5 goals. Finally, eventually his goal got us a win. All the goals that he scored in the Champions League never got us a win. Yeah? And it won the game for us on the day. But it brings into perspective. And now let's delve into what I want us to discuss. The mid-season review that I would want us to do, looking at the statistics of what we've done so far. Now, you look at us in all competitions this season, we've played 27 games. In 27 games, we've only managed to win 12 and lost 13 out of it. Now, we've drawn 2 of these games, one against Galatasaray and one against Liverpool. This season, it was either we win or we lose. We win or we lose. And even the Galatasaray game, I still wonder how we didn't win that game. Even the Liverpool game, given the chances that we created on the day. But you look at the statistic, and any coach coaching a top club would have been gone by now. You don't lose 13 games in any top club, middle of the season, and you keep your position. Some way, somehow, Erik ten Hag has managed to stay or has managed to keep his job by now. And there hasn't been a slightest of threat to his job at this point in time. But by all standards, this is not what a club at the level of Manchester United should be experiencing. Post-Ferguson, we've not had this kind of result. What has gone wrong with us, Kwame? What has been the problem?
You're right. You hit the nail on the head. It's unacceptable, the kind of results that we've had so far. But then there have been a lot of contributory factors to this that we cannot ignore. First of all, the window that started the season, we had what I call the shambolic window. And I don't think we had a window that complemented the season that we had prior.
Yeah.
We bought players that I felt were not going to take us to the next level immediately.
Yeah.
And it's actually come to the fore. So that's where we got off to a wrong start. And our coach also spoke of the type of football that he wants to play, which is to make Manchester United the best transition side in the world. That has not manifested so far. He hasn't been able to put that imprint on the team. Then there's the injury crisis. We have been ravaged with injuries from the start of the season. Manchester United has had 10 different centre back combinations since the start of the season. I tell you right now, Erik ten Hag would have preferred to have a stable back four with very little injuries and rather have had his centre forward suffering those injuries because we've had no base to build on from the beginning of the season. It's been chopping and changing from full back positions to centre back positions. No protection for a goalkeeper who is new to the league, who is new to playing for Manchester United. So the injury crisis has contributed a great deal, but I also feel Erik ten Hag himself has not managed the crisis as well as he should have. He's supposed to be one of the best managers in the world. And this is the time that he's supposed to earn his money when there is crisis, when there's a situation where it needs the boss to be the boss. Yeah. But he has made certain decisions in games when it comes to selections, when it comes to in-game management, that has not helped him to manage the crisis. And lastly, all this takeover process that has been hanging around the club's neck for the past 13 months. See, it's been a distraction. It's been a distraction since the second half of last season. We started tapering off, and from February last season, we managed to end the season with the trophy, all right, the top 4 spot, but we haven't gotten out of it because there's so much going on around Manchester United right now. Fortunately, we've been able to hear some delightful news that it's all come to an end. Now, people would have some clarity with respect to their rules at their club. Yeah. At the club, they'll have some understanding as to whether they have a future at the club or don't have a future at the club. All that will be put to bed soon. So it's been a multitude of factors, You cannot ignore those factors when it comes to the manager's job. It's been difficult. Yeah. Put any other manager in the same circumstance, and it's not ideal. So yeah, that's where we find ourselves.
And the league form is one thing that has also been quite interesting. We've played 19 games. We've won 10 out of these games. We've lost 8 out of it and drawn 1. When we are doing a review, for me, yes, circumstances do play out. There's a popular saying that injuries are part of the game. I mean, you would have key players injured. Therefore, and that's where your job, that's where you earn your pay, you earn your money. I mean, challenges happens in every kind of job. So I agree that, yes, you can't rule out the magnitude of it. I mean, we have about 30 injuries. No team survives or plays at the highest level with regards to that. I mean, it becomes very, very difficult for you to be able to cope. But you look at the manager's decisions as well, and it's something that hasn't really, really, really helped. I mean, or contributed enough, in my opinion, to what we were expecting. Some decisions that he's made in games. There's a central theme that is running throughout the season. We've made mention of it. This double 8 and the kind of personnel that you are deploying to play this double 8 and that lone 6 having to cover enough space, teams running through. And that's what has resulted in us either scoring or we conceding a lot more goals because our midfield has always been open. And these are structural issues that the manager has failed to, deal with in the course of the season. That has led us to this point as well. You made mention of that perfectly, but for me, I would like to hammer on that. I feel that the coach have had his own personal issues with regards to the tactics that he's playing and all of that. Yes, not many coaches are able to deal with this injury situation. Spurs experienced it and they were on top of the league and have dropped so much at some point. They have gone like 4 or 5 games without wins and all of that. And it becomes very difficult. It's not every coach that's able to deal with it. Okay, so, but sometimes certain decisions are very, very key. When you realize that we're having these issues, you have to find a way to have a base. See, we've scored 8 prior to the game against Aston Villa. We had scored 18 goals. To put that into perspective, it's only Sheffield United that we scored more goals against. Only Sheffield United. Until then, so add the 3 goals we scored against Villa to 21 goals. You can compare it to the other top teams in the league. City are already on 40 or 50 goals already. Arsenal are already on. It's something. Our attackers are not firing. Another
And it's
interesting
not just
stat.
this season. It's not just
Yes.
this season, Kwame. It
Yeah.
started from last season. Marcus Rashford bailed him out last season by scoring a multitude of goals and winning so many games for us. His goals have dried up and it's exposed us for what we are. A team that lacks goals in so many departments of the game. So it's down to the coach to be able to rectify that. He's bought a £72 million centre forward. He has an £85 million winger who is not contributing to goals or assists. He has to find a way to get the most out of these players and get more goals into the team.
It's very important. Up until Garnacho scored at Old Trafford, do you remember the last time a forward scored in the league at Old Trafford?
Kind of guess it's Sancho, isn't it?
Sancho in the game against Fulham. That was somewhere in May. That was the last time. And we are in December. We've played from August at Old Trafford in the league till December. It took December 26th for a forward at this club to score a goal. Erik ten Hag, this is on you. Structurally, you have failed at some point, and it has really led us to this point. Criticizing Erik ten Hag doesn't mean I want him out. I am of the strongest conviction that he's the guy to take us where we want to get to. But he needs to sort himself out as a coach. He needs to work things out as a coach. Get things right. Yes, clearly he needs help with the transfers because some of the players that he's recommended for us hasn't been the best. There's a lot more that we expect from this coach. Not many coaches survive what Erik ten Hag has experienced. I'm sure he would look back and ask himself, why did I even take this job? But he said this is what he wanted to take. He was confronted with issues of Cristiano Ronaldo at some point, having to question him in a whole interview, struggle with players like Jadon Sancho, also questioning him in a tweet. A whole lot of issues with the ownership, injuries, losing his first 2 games when he came last season with a lot of mountain pressure, found a way to turn it around. He's a strong character. We know and we hope and we understand the kind of person he's made of. But Eric, this season you've not covered yourself in glory with some of the decisions that you've made. Consistently playing Scott McTominay in 13 consecutive games. You didn't help yourself with that. I feel it's something that Eric has done that has really disappointed us. I mean, I've even gone into a point of the discussion that I wanted us to have. I will still come back to Erik ten Hag and come and criticize him the more. He's the man. I really want him to succeed. Eric, if I criticize you, I want you to succeed. That's why I'm criticizing you. So Kwame, that's it with that. I mean, but let me quickly bring this forward. So given all that we've done, what are your expectations for the rest of the season? We are entering 2024. What's your expectation with the team going into 2024?
I want us to treat the second half of the season as a fresh start compared to the first. We have won 10 games this season in the league. We'll probably need to win another 13 out of the remaining 19 games to be able to get a Champions League spot. Yes. And we have the FA Cup to fight for. See, playing 1 game a week, 1 game every 2 weeks should be able to give us some sort of advantage. Yeah. Hopefully, players are coming back. We have a fitter squad, meaning Erik ten Hag will have less and less excuses for not performing. We should be able to win as many games as we can, get a top 4 spot, and get as far as we can in the cup. Hopefully win it this time. We got to the final last season. Yes. We can get to another final and end the season on a high.
All right, so that's it with regards to our season review. But before we conclude that, I wanted to ask you this. Who has been the player that has disappointed, or the individual in the club, be the coach or whoever that has disappointed you the most so far this season?
Couple of names come to mind, but then, I'm hardest on the people that I love the most. And one of the players I love the most is Marcus Rashford. So it's going to be Marcus Rashford for me. Marcus Rashford is 26 years old.
Yes.
He has just come off the back of the best season in his life, where he swept every individual award. He was statistically the best left winger in the world last season. Was his numbers compared with the best in the world. And you would expect him to kick on rather than continue to have ups and downs when it comes to seasons. But unfortunately, what we have known him for is what he's showing once again, where he's having a huge dip in form when you expect him to be able to go on to the next level. He's 26 years old. It's about time he becomes the main man. He's playing with a 20-year-old center forward. I would have preferred Harry Kane extra experience, but he's playing with a 20-year-old center forward and a 19-year-old winger in Garnacho. He's supposed to show more maturity and more consistency compared to those two. He's supposed to get onto the field of play and inspire his team to success. He's a local lad. He knows what it means to play for Manchester United. So yeah, he's disappointed me, but I hope that second half of the season he does turn up, smash of the season, and then makes it to the Euros. So Marcus Rashford is my guy.
Are you going to ask me?
Yeah. And what about you? Let me guess. Ten Hag.
Obviously. I mean, I've already stated that I'm very confident in him. I believe in him as a coach. Not many coaches walk into this job and do the kind of things that he did last season. Gary Neville has described the United coaching job as a graveyard for many people. You come in and all of that. You look at coaches that have held this role from Jose Mourinho to Luis Van Gaal, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. These are some of these coaches. Even if I take Jose Mourinho and then Luis Van Gaal, these are coaches that came with huge reputation, but still came in and couldn't live up to the standards that many would have expected of them, per their own standards and the standards of the club. Structurally, things aren't as organized as you'd want it. So not many coaches come in. And last season, he came in, had a very difficult start, found a way to end a drought, a 6-year drought, where a big club like United had not won a trophy in 6 seasons. So a lot of us had huge expectations going into the season, going into this current campaign. Somehow, Erik ten Hag has found a way to mess things up.
He's not managed the crisis so well.
Not manage the crisis very, very well. Injuries are serious and are part of the game. You need to manage it. But Erik hasn't found himself in the best of positions and has continuously, repeatedly made mistakes this season. Now, last season, Kwame used to say something that Erik ten Hag earned his money or earned the reputation we had for him by influencing games from the bench. It has been a complete opposite this season. His in-game management has been poor. He's had some selection wrong. He has tried to be too clever for his own liking or for his own self. Trying to put players out of position, trying to invent something. But football is quite basic. You may have lost certain key players, but you don't try to make things up by trying to play certain players out of position. I don't understand the reason why your most productive and creative attacking player has had to play a bit deeper to accommodate your Malam goal specialist in Scott McTominay. I still don't understand that decision. We saw Bruno Fernandes when he played at number 10 against Aston Villa. And we saw the strings he pulled in that second half. Go and watch that game again and carefully just keep your radar on Bruno Fernandes and see the things that he did in that midfield. That is what Bruno gets you. That is what got Bruno 28 goals. That's just the goals, not to even count assists in that season. So Erik ten Hag has to get his act together. He's disappointed me this season so far. And he has 6 months to save his job. He knows it. He has 6 months to save his job because the new ownership, which we'll be talking about very soon, are going to make a decision. And he knows that if he doesn't do well enough his job will be on the line. So for me, Kwame, that's the man that has really disappointed me the most. While we talk about disappointment, who has really impressed you so far this season?
There are so many candidates, but I choose the odd one, Jonny Evans.
That's an interesting one.
Jonny Evans.
Why Jonny Evans? Who's Jonny Evans as the person that has impressed?
See, I wrote him off, you wrote him off, everyone else wrote him off. But Jonny Evans has shown what it takes to play for Manchester United. He has stood up in the heat of a crisis, an injury crisis at the back.
Yeah.
All our centre-backs have been injured at one point or the other. Yeah. He has remained fit almost throughout, and he has played more games for us this season than he actually even played for Leicester last season, out of necessity, but he has stood up to the assignment. That block in that game against Villa when it was 2-2, without that block, we're not winning. If we went down 3-2, we're not winning that game. It was as good and as important as Højlund's winner on the day. And that's not the only game. At Anfield, he was outstanding. At Burnley, he actually gave an assist for the winning goal, Bruno's winning goal. He has surprised me. He has shocked me. I mean, I'm not going to say he should stay long term, but for the value that we expected him to offer this season, he has exceeded it by a lot. It's turned out to be a crucial signing, a very, very important signing. I was not expecting that at all. So Jonny Evans is my guy so far this season.
Wow. That's a very interesting pick. I actually didn't see that coming. I mean, who would choose Jonny Evans? But that's given the things that he's done so far since he came in. He's barely put a foot wrong. He's been a leader at the back, an experienced head, helped organize the whole setup and everything. When other defenders are playing with him, you see how comfortable they look because he's got the confidence. He's during preseason, there was this game I think we played against the Olympic Lyon, and he came on in the second half. Now, he's so experienced to the extent that he has a way of even catching up with players who have more pace than he does. There was this point in time where the player was running at him. Now, instead of going direct to the player, he gave the player a lot of space to just be able to catch up, or made a decoy run in a way, was able to do a clearance. I mean, not many players are able to have that level of experience to be able to make such decisions. These are some of the little details you get from players like that, because they've played at the highest level at a very, very long time. And
that's the reason why these players were able to play under Alex Ferguson. They didn't need to be the most talented players. They just needed to know how to play for the badge. He knows how to play for Manchester United. He's Manchester United born and bred. He understands the assignments, and he shows it week in, week out. He's been a pleasant surprise. I'm not going to lie. He's exceeded my expectations by a lot. A lot.
Well, for me, it's that boy Alejandro Garnacho. That I mean is the player that's really, really been outstanding for me so far. I'm sure somebody's probably criticizing me right now, mentioning Garnacho and the kind of frustration he's given us. And please, he's just 19. But I watch our team, and not many players give me that kind of hope, like that spark. He's an X factor. I mean, you believe he'll do something out of nothing to give you something. It might not result in a goal, but it sparks the whole attack. Because he's a fighter, he's resilient, he has an elite mentality. Okay. Will just refer you to go and look at Cristiano Ronaldo. Back then when he came to United at age 18, it was very, very frustrating to look. He frustrated a lot of people and all of that. And that's the level that we are working with at this moment. So for me, Alejandro Garnacho is the guy for me. He's one player that I feel has been so great for us so far throughout the season. He's the one player that and we shouldn't put so much pressure on him because he's just young. But wait till that guy gets to his peak. You get to know the kind of player we are talking about. So similar to Cristiano Ronaldo at the same age. I'm not saying he's going to be a Cristiano Ronaldo. But I'm telling you that when he hits his peak, you're going to see the best of Alejandro Garnacho. So Kwame, I don't know what you make of this guy. I think he's been so fantastic. How he was able to grab the game by himself to be able to put us at that level. He's been fantastic so far.
He said something after the game about what he intended to do um, when the team came back from halftime recess, that he had to take the game by the scruff of the neck and score goals. He scored one that was ruled offside, but then that did not deter him. He was determined to make his mark on the game, and then he did. He has the temperament, right, to play for Manchester United. He has the mentality, the attitude, the character. And then you said you hit a nail on the head. He's got an X factor about him. I think with all these attributes, for our young fans who never saw Cristiano Ronaldo back in the day, before he became this goal machine that he is, oh my word, he was frustrating at points. Those needless step overs on the wing, just wasting all the time. Wout van Nistelrooy waving his arms, cross the damn ball. The ball will never come. It led to a bust up between Wout van Nistelrooy, who was the best player at the time, and the great Sir Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson chose the young, talented player over the marquee player. The reason is that he saw the talent, he saw the potential, and he knew where he was going.
Exactly.
An advocate that would be patient. He would make mistakes.
Yeah.
He would scuff some clear opportunities, but he will keep on going, just as he showed against Villa after his disappointing performance at West Ham. There will be ups and downs, but his talent would come true. I mean, he could be anything by the age of 22, 23. We just have to be patient enough to live it through. It's a good pick. I'll pick him, but then I'm not picking him over Johnny Evans. No way. Johnny Evans, Jesus Christ. I did not see that coming.
Wow. All right, Kwame, thank you very much. Let's end with this. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, no more a rumor, no more it's coming, it's here. So it's been announced. We've done a lot, or we've said a lot about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I mean, all the bases. You can check our previous episodes. We've labeled them, so it's very difficult and very easy for you to be able to identify them. We've said a lot of. Kwame, the deal has finally been ratified. I'm waiting approval from regulatory authorities, i.e., the Premier League and other the Football Association, and I think the Women's Super League as well. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is here. What's the expectation?
I'm relieved this is finally over, to be honest.
Was that a good Christmas gift for you? For me, what?
See, it's the perfect Xmas gift. Because see, all this has not been good for anyone. It's not been good for staff at the club. It's not been good for players whose contracts are left hanging. It's not been good for the manager. It's not been good for John Myrtle, who is supposed to be responsible for recruitment. It's not been good for the fans. Mm-hmm. To finally put this to bed so that everybody can have some clarity, some sense of direction. It's fantastic. On top of that, the Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe have been promised a particular role at the football club, which is crucial for starters. I mean, there's going to be investments in infrastructure and all that. But the immediate problem is sorting out the sporting aspect of Manchester United. Right. Sort us on the field, get us performing on the field, and everything else would follow. So I'm really, really looking forward to this and what it can offer us in the very near future. In the very near future. We don't have to wait 2-3 years like Todd Boehly and co.
We beg.
In the very near future, please.
Come and help us. Sir Jim, please, if you are listening or if you are watching, we beg you. This is the time. I mean, we have so much. Not many people had confidence in you taking over. People really underrated you, but you found a way to get the club, a portion of the club that gives you control.
For now.
Yes, a control over what we are expecting new owners to have control over. So please, don't disappoint us. Yes, don't really disappoint us. All right. So we'll be doing a lot more as it unfolds, as the news unfolds. We'll be discussing a lot more with regards to the details of this deal that Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers have struck, and what to expect at the end of the day. Already, we've heard that Jean-Claude Blanc and Sir Dave Brailsford are likely to sit on the, or have been nominated, not likely to sit on the board at the football level. So we'll be seeing the kind of changes that they'll be bringing into the club And that. So thank you so much to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so grateful to you for being with us from August till now. It's the last episode for 2023. We want to say a big thank you to every one of you for joining. I want to say a big thank you to our guests that have joined us: Nanaba Namwaya, Okesula B, Philip Atrim Sichofer, Michael Akomia, the Messiah, Francis Aban, Fifi Manfred, Victor Achutamaklo, Collins Atapoku, Nathan. Wow, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. Season's greetings to you all and your families. We hope you're enjoying your Christmas, and we hope for a better 2024. To all of you who have been watching us from Ghana, Nigeria, in the UK, in Germany, in US, in India, in all other parts of Africa, and in Europe, thank you so much for joining in. We are grateful to you. Kwame, we have less than 30 seconds to go. Any more persons too?
Season's greetings to all our subscribers and all our followers on every platform. You guys have been amazing. I wish you the best of everything in 2024. Good health, that's very important, that's key. And hopefully Manchester United has a better end to the season, brings us more success and more joy.
All right, so thank you very much for joining us. Have a great end to the year 2023 and have a fabulous 2024. We will see you at the other side. Have a great time.